Hey friends, welcome back to Llama Mama Kayla's Yarn Tube. I'm Kayla. Thank you for stopping by today. I appreciate you being here and coming and hanging out with me today. So what is going on today? We are taking a field trip. We are fixing to jump in the car and take a field trip. So get your shoes on and get ready. I talked to Big Daddy earlier. We were talking about tonight, and I said, well, I really want to go to Hobby Lobby this week. Because this is their yarn sale week. And so he's like, okay, be ready when I get home. So I'm ready. Got my shoes on. Only thing I got to do is I have to take this. Let me turn around. I have to take this off. Yeah, you just see in the back side. So I have to take this off because I'm not going around town with a drain bag hanging out of my stomach. So when he drives up, I'm going to take that off, and then I've got everything ready to run out there. So get your shoes on, and let's go to Hobby Lobby. Hey friends, so we are arriving at Hobby Lobby. I'm so thankful for my chauffeur. He is so nice to bring me and drive me around here. Let me tell you, it is hot out here. Who is in the middle of winter? Because I need to come visit you for a while. It is so hot here. It's unbearable. Lady, you can walk a little faster. Get them knees up. I'm just picking. I would be a slug going across there myself. Okay, so Big Daddy's going to drop me off at the door because his knee is hurting him. And he said, take your time. Don't be in a hurry. I got the AC on. I'm good. And he's got his phone to play with, so he's good. But anyway, so they have a lot of fall stuff out. When I walked into the lobby, it was just all kinds of fall everywhere. I'm seeing a lot of fall stuff in the store as I'm passing by. The yarn section is all the way in the back, so I gotta like go all the way back there. But I knew this day was coming. And I knew I was going to go to Hobby Lobby. So I already took prednisone to give myself a little boost so I could do this. Otherwise, I might not be able to do it because I need that boost to give me the energy. It smells wonderful in there, and I'm sure it was all those candles that I just passed. Oh, here's some yarn. And there's some little kits. So let's look and see what they have. And then I do have that stitch kit right there. I don't have Piglet and Pooh, and they're really cute. I didn't even look to see how much they were. I mean, I don't know. My mind was on a lot of different things. But I did look to see over here what they had. They had that cow, and there's Pooh and Piglet again. Why didn't I grab that? I don't know. Sometimes I just don't think. And then we get home and I'm like, oh, I should have got that. Do you do that? Am I the only one? I hope not. But I might be. Who knows? And there they have the Yarn Bee right there with those kits. Very, smart of them to display that right on an end cap and right below those kits. And so let's get I'm just going to get all the colors except the black. So I already know that going in that I wanted one of each. And I got them. And I'm just looking at it. It is the, beginner bee. Beginner yarn. And I'll talk more about that yarn later when I'm showing it to you at the end. Let's look at their kits and see what all kinds of kits they have. There's some new ones there that I hadn't seen before. The hat and a cherry over there. Now I'm looking at the hat to see if it was really like a cowboy hat or what. I see a panda and a fox, and that heart-shaped frog is so cute. Like, I have Henry the frog here on my desk, but doesn't he need a heart-shaped girlfriend? Yeah, I think he does. I think he does. So I'm coming back and looking at that again. I think I'm going to make that hat, but in hopes that it fits Patina's head. And if it don't, then I can just make another one a little bit smaller to fit her head. But I'm trying to see if it would really look like a cowboy girl hat, or is it just look like a hat? I don't know. it's not that much. So I'm going to go ahead and get it and make it. And who knows, I might make some more and put them in my booth or something. I have no idea. God, I could have got the cherries and made them too. I don't know. I think of things after I get home. But those were all cute little keychains. And I do want to make a bunch of keychains to put in my booth. And that chicken, there's a cat and a pig, which my unicorn turned into a pig. So, yeah. Okay, so here I'm talking about those. Some of those are with regular yarn. The thin, I mean, that might be even a 3-weight yarn. And some of them, that one right there, was the tube yarn in that kit. And so you just have to look on the back of the kits and see what kind of yarn they use. I didn't look at all of them, I don't think. I can't even remember now. Most of them were regular yarn, like a very thin, maybe like a 3-weight yarn. Okay, I think some of those on the top row was tube yarn, but on down was regular yarn. But then, you know, you can make these with any kind of yarn. You can make them with tube yarn. You can make them with plushy yarn, just whatever. You know, it does adjust, it does change the size of them, but the pattern still works up the same. Yeah, I was just looking at all those to see what kind of yarn they had in them. Now that right there is really cute. I like that little deer, little sleeping baby deer. And a lot of Big Daddy's friends are hunters. And, you know, a lot of times they do their baby nurseries and hunting themes and nature and stuff like that. And so I was thinking, he's always saying, oh, so and so's having a baby shower. And you know, for a man that he works with, they have baby showers for different men and stuff at work. And a lot of times I'm like trying to come up with something, you know. And so that would be something I could do. Or I could put it in my booth, either way. Even if he said, you know, they're having a baby shower, I could say, well, I got something in the booth I could go get. It's a little deer, Lovey. The fox is really cute too, but I did do a Wooble fox. It was my very first kit. And it really gave me my love of crochet back because I was very frustrated with crocheting before I did that Woobles kit. So therefore, I'm thankful for that. Now these little felt kits are just adorable. I love that mushroom one. I want to do those so bad, but I don't know how. I don't know how. I would do the mushroom. That turtle's really cute too. And there's a cat. And I would definitely want to do the strawberry. And that elephant's cute. They're all so cute. I'd want to do them all, but I don't know how to do it. And so I even looked at this. I looked at the back to see if I could, you know, kind of glance in there and kind of get an idea of what's included in there. Well, how could I, if I bought it and could not do it, how could I adapt it to what I am able to do? But I really couldn't decide. And so, anyway, just looking at all those adorable little kits. And then the yarns on that side. But I think I'm going to go ahead and just show you the rest of this aisle so we can talk about it. There's macrame yarn. And this punch needle. Now, I have a little punch needle, but I'm not sure if it's on the up and up or what, because whatever I'm doing is not working. I've done it wrong, and I could never figure it out. So I don't know that I really know how to punch needle. I mean, I don't know how. That's what I'm saying. Even though I have a little punch needle. And there they have bags and some yarn bowls and crochet hooks. And then we're getting down into the embroidery type stuff. Lots of, you know, useful little things for people who do that type of hobby. I have done some in the past, not cross stitch, but freehand embroidery.
and I thought I would just look and see what they did have on clearance. That up there is some kind of little felt mouse thing at the very top, but I couldn't see how much it was. Okay, so now I'm looking at the I Love This Yarn because my friend Eva and I were talking about doing washcloths on the 22 and the 40 needle knitting machines, and they would be round if you just made a tube, closed up each end, and then sewed each end together flat to make a circle. So, in talking about that, we were talking about the different yarns, and she showed me one that she had made with some I Love This cotton from Hobby Lobby, and I was like, okay, when I go next week, I'm gonna get some and try it out and see how I like it, you know. And then here's the Crafter's Secret yarn, and it looks like it might go through the knitting machine. Sometimes the peaches and cream or sugar and cream don't always want to work. Very, very seldom do they even work, but if this would work, that would be a good deal. So, and they have lots and lots of colors, and I like variegated. I don't want just a solid red washcloth. I want red, white, and blue or something, you know. I just want it to be pretty and lots of color. And so I was just looking at the different colors of the Crafter's Secret cotton. And then over here, I was looking at the, you know, I Love This cotton, and that is super soft cotton. And it's just so hard to make up your mind. It's hard. And I could make a variegated with the solid colors, but who wants to stop and start all the time? I just want to crank it through there. But they had some really pretty colors and lots of variegateds and some solids to match them up, because that's what I have in my mind, and I'll explain my project that I'm wanting to do further on in this video. But I really was wanting some real pretty variegateds and some solids to complement it. I was not finding what I was looking for. No, that might would go together, but then it might not really. The blue's kind of more like a royal pretty blue, and the other's more like a denim type blue, so I don't really think it goes together. It's so hard. I have used that colorway before. I made some dish rags, or hand towels from a bathroom. That's what I made with that. There's lots of cotton yarn there. You just need to know what colors you want to use. Those were all just so pretty, and I could just see some dish rags or washcloths made up with those. Would be very pretty. Looking back at the rainbow of I Love This cotton, because oh my gosh, they're all just such pretty colors, and they're just so bright and beautiful. It's so hard to make a decision. Each of those brands have a lot of colors, but I'm really mainly looking for the I Love This cotton because I want to test that out. Now, I went around on the other aisle because it was some ladies over there, and you know, I didn't want to disturb them while I was trying to make a video, so I'm trying to give them a little time to leave. But I was really happy to see other ladies, you know, buying yarn and contemplating what yarn to get and such. I just wanted to say, you're my friend, we both love yarn. But of course I didn't, but I was thinking it, you know, like, you just don't know, we're friends. Like, me and you, we're friends. You love yarn, I love yarn. So I'm over here looking at this yarn on this side. I'm not really looking for bulky yarn, and that's what this whole row is, bulky yarn. But it's still fun to look at them, even though I don't want any of it. And that little section right there from the red, yellow, mustardy, and orange, those are just screaming fall, fall, fall. And right now, I would welcome some fall weather. I would welcome it all the way because it is so hot. I'm ready for fall. Maybe we can just think about fall and it'll get here faster. It won't, but let's pretend. But yeah, there's all kinds of beautiful yarns there. And over here on this other side, I just see a lot of different things going on over here. Look at that gnome bag. And that's not a screen print picture on that. That is like embroidered onto it like a machine. I'm sure a machine put that on there, but it stands out. It's not flat screen print picture. I was kind of looking to see what does it look like on the inside, but it definitely is beautiful. But I don't need a bag. I really don't need a bag. I'm just kidding. I really don't need it. It was $9.99, I believe. Very much worth it for that beautiful picture on it. And there was a little another gnome baggie for your tools and stuff. I don't remember the price of it, and I can't see it, so. But, and then I saw another one of those bags that had like the embroidered on it, and it's beautiful too. So, let's see if the ladies are still down there. And, oh, yeah, another one's added to it. So, I'm going to skip going down there, I guess. But, it was fun looking at the yarn. Beautiful, beautiful yarns. Now, let's go home and see what I did purchase. That was a fun trip, and I have made it home. And I want to show you what I did purchase, my little Hobby Lobby haul. So let me get my bags and see what all I have in here. Fun. Okay, so we all know what I went to get to begin with. But let me just show you some other things that I did get. I did get the heart-shaped frog amigurumi. This is by 44th Street. And it's a frog, and the kit includes all the stuff to make it with a small yarn. Now, I am going to get the pattern out of there and make the frog with my preferred yarn. And then I'm going to put the pattern back in there, and I'm going to give this to Chastity. She recently had a birthday and we hadn't seen her, and so I've been collecting some crochet and yarn things for her birthday. So that will be in her birthday bag. But I'm going to make the frog first. That might be wrong. I don't know. But I think I can open the bag, this is stapled, so I could get the pattern out, make the frog, and then put it back and give it to her. She will know no different. And then she can use the yarn if she chooses to do that. Okay, so I did get the hat keychain, but I don't really want to use it as a keychain. Although, if it turns out looking like a cowboy hat, I mean, I can make a hat, but I was really wanting it to look cowboyish. And if you don't put that in and dent it in, it might look cowboyish. I don't know. But, again, it's the tiny yarn. And so I might make that and do the same thing. Comes with a crochet hook, the yarn. It comes with the keychain thing, and the stitch markers, and a needle, and a, is that a, oh, I thought that might have been a metal needle. It's just the paper with instructions folded up there. So, same thing. And I did get one more, because it'd be cute. I went ahead and got that chicken. because it is really cute too. And so, and this one actually has the tube yarn in it. So I might make this with the tube yarn and see, you know, how much yarn it uses and how much is left over and all that kind of stuff. It has a crochet hook over here that is flat. I don't know. We'll have to, when we open it, we'll have to get into that and see what that actually is. But it looks like a very, very flat crochet hook. I don't know. I won't be using that size. I would be using a bigger size anyway. And therefore, that yarn might not be enough yarn for the size that I'm going to use, a 5mm. But it might. They usually give extra in most kits, I would say, do allow for extra yarn because we don't all have the same tension and stuff like that. So I'll see. If I see that it's not enough, I can just take that out and use the yarn that I have, because I do have some tube yarn like that. So I got those 3 kits, and let me get my next bag real quick and see. Oh, I did get something else. Well, I have to cut my bag. I can't get it untied. Big Daddy, he always ties stuff up, and then he doesn't think about that I won't be able to undo it. That he doesn't think about that. Okay, so in this, I went ahead and got this little deer because it was just precious, and I just thought it was cute, and I thought it would be cute in my booth, where I have my crochet booth. I thought that would be cute. So, and this is made with chenille yarn, so that was appealing. I like that idea, and we'll see about that. So I did get 4 kits. And then I got my tube yarn. I got the whole rainbow. Okay, I'll just be honest. Sometimes stores carry different things, you know, and not all stores carry the same, and you know how it is. And some stores sell out of stuff, and it takes them so long to get stuff back in. So I was really wondering if my store was really even going to have it. I did look online, and it showed that they had it, but you can't always trust what you see on the computer. You just can't always trust that. The computer might not update enough. So let me see. Did I get 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? Is there one more in here? I should have 8 of those because I did not buy the black. And so let's see, 3, 6, 7. I should have one more. Here it is, right here in front of my face. Y'all know, oh gosh, I'm turning into a man every day. Every day I'm turning into a man. Can't see something right in front of your face. Sorry, I'm sorry. Not really. Okay, so I did get this beautiful pink. That's a pretty pink. And it's just called pink. And these little skeins are 65 yards. If you remember back when I did a comparison of the Woobles yarn with the beginner yarn that I bought on Amazon, the ones I bought on Amazon was 50 yards. No, they weren't. They were 50 grams. See, I don't know anything about grams. I mean, you know, we go by yards and inches and ounces over here and not grams. And so all I had to go by was it was 50 grams, if I'm remembering correctly. But it was well enough. And these feel like they are more. And it might have been 50 yards. I can't really remember. But these feel like they are bigger than those skeins that I had got on Amazon. And so these are on sale. I mean, they're $3.49. This is a sale week for my Hobby Lobby. And I don't know if we're all on the same schedule with that or not, because last week somebody said it was their sale week. And I was like, oh, okay, wait, I need to go to Hobby Lobby. And I was like, well, my sale week's not till next week. So that kind of confused me, but this is my sale week. Today was the first day of my 30% off. So I went and I got these. So they were like $244, I believe, after you got 30% off. So I got the pink, and then I got red, and I got blue and yellow. I'm sure y'all know your colors, but just seeing if they have different color names. Orange, purple, green, and then we know that's white down there. But yeah, they are beginner B. Thank you all so much for telling me that, because I didn't know that, I just was hearing noise that Hobby Lobby now had a tube yarn. Now, Michael's does also, and it's called Cuddle yarn, but my Michael's does not carry it in the store. So, I wanted to go and buy some in a store. I wanted to go in a store and purchase some tube yarn. And so, it was $3.49, 30% off, $2.44, beginner B, beginner yarn, green. And so, what I'm... And this is a... let me just look right here. It's considered a 5 bulky yarn, according to this. I don't really see that, but it is considered a 5 bulky yarn. But I think that's a a good hefty 4. Maybe when it's made up, it would is more bulkier or something. Maybe, what y'all think? Anyway, so that's my beautiful yarns that I got. And I just love those colors. I love having the rainbow there. And I'm probably going to do my frog with that green. I think that would be cute. Alright, let me see what else I got. So, as I was walking around, y'all saw that I looked at the cotton yarn, because Eva and I had talked about that. So this is what I ended up buying. I got some I Love This cottons. Let me lay these out for you. And I couldn't see that well. I was having a bad eyesight day. My eyesight kind of just, I have semi-good days and very bad days. And so today was a very bad eyesight day. And I was having trouble seeing the colors and such. So this is what I did end up buying, though. Okay, just a second. I'm laying some other stuff to the side so I can come back and talk about that. Okay. Making sure I got everything out. Okay. So, Eva and I had talked about making the dish rags or washcloths on either the small knitting machine, the 22 needle, or the 40 needle, which would make just a larger washcloth, twice as big, but it would be bigger for the hand and all that. So what I really wanted to do was, because I'm thinking I'm going to put these in my crochet booth and advertise them, tag them as washcloths or dish rags. You can use them for whatever you want to clean with them. So what I was thinking I wanted to do was I wanted to do like a 2 solids and then a variegated. But I didn't find a purple variegated in that colorway, in this color kind here. But I was wanting to do, so I'll probably just do like, I don't know, I was wanting to do a trio and do 2 and do 3 different ones, 2 of a color and 1 of a variegated, to have 3. And zip tie those together to make a set. And so I did get this one. I think I'm gonna make a washcloth with this, and then make a washcloth with each one of these and zip tie these 3 together, and so it would be the set of 3 washcloths is what I was thinking. I hadn't done it yet. Actually, I'm going to make these with you guys on my knitting machine and see how that turns out. But that's what I'm thinking of doing. I just think a set of 3 would be nice to do that with. And I was thinking, you know, do them all 3 different colors, but that may not always work out. Such as I wasn't finding a purple variegated to go with these 2. I think that would have been a really pretty set to do that if I had a variegated, but I did not see one in this brand. And then I picked this one up because I'm going to make Big Daddy a test washcloth and tell him to use that and then let me know what he thinks, you know, like, this, is it, you know, too soft of a washcloth for him? Does it not have enough roughness? Sometimes I like a rough washcloth, okay? Sometimes I just, I have skin issues from my lupus. It affects my skin very badly. And so sometimes I just need a rough washcloth. And sometimes I want a soft washcloth. So it just depends on how I'm feeling at the time. But this would make a very soft washcloth, obviously. But I really wanted some blues so I could do a trio of blue. But then I thought, well, I'll just test this for Big Daddy and see what he likes. And that yarn is going to be there. Next time the yarn is on sale for 30% off, I can go back with some color combo. Maybe I could look online before I go at their variegated colors and kind of write down, make me a list of kind of like the variegated, and then write the variegated color, or just give me an idea, because I'm not going to sit there and read all that in the store. First off, these are on the bottom freaking row. Who wants to bend down to look at these? Not me. Put these things up higher where I can see them. And then I could write some solid colors that would go with it or something, and have my trios already made out. And I mean, this could go with the purple. It does have some purple in there, but I want it not to be as bold. Like, this to me goes together, these 3 definitely. I wanted some kind of just a pale purple, pale and dark purple or something to go with this, but it didn't work out. Anyway, I could go back and get some blues or even a white and blue to go with this. And then I picked this one up too, just because it was blue and yellows. It had different shades of blue and a white. So I don't know how many one of these will make, so I can definitely test that out and see. I do want to look at something though. Now this one is called Paris in June, is the name of it. 100% cotton, and it is a, just look so I don't tell us anything wrong there. It is a 4 medium yarn. And these were $3.99. They were on sale. And I am going to do an update video about my crochet market booth. I got to get some more stuff in there. Like, sold a good bit of stuff this month. And so I will be doing an update video on that too. Okay, what was I going to look at? I was going to look at, okay, there's 153 yards in this, in the variegated, and 180 yards in the solid. So I would like to know how many of the variegated would make and how many of the solid would make. Yeah, I want to know how many I can make from each one. And I might do that testing it with, no, that's not right. I was thinking the wrong thing. But I don't know if I'm going to make these with the 22 or the 40. I might make them with the 40 just so they're a larger rag. Because the 22 one would cover the palm of the hand. But I want something that's going to come out a little bigger. Back when I had fingers, I like to wash rag, a large wash rag. So I'm thinking the 40 needle machine. And I think this yarn will make up lovely on that. Okay, so put that up there. And then I was thinking about Michael's sugars and cream, or peaches and cream, whatever it's called. I think one of them was Walmart, one of them's Michael's. Those have never really worked in the knitting machine that well for me. Once in a while, but not consistently. And so I was thinking that, and I looked over at their cotton. This is just a little different, and these little cheaper ones, the Secret Crafter Secret. These are regular $2.99, and they were on sale, 30% off. These seem to be wound a little different. So I'm sure I have some Crafter Secret in my drawer. Do they have the labels on them so that I know what's Crafter Secret and what's sugar and cream or peaches and cream? Probably not. So I went ahead and picked up a few of these so I could just test them. And what I was thinking of doing is make Big Daddy a washcloth out of this and a washcloth out of this, and then give him one of them, and he'll give me what he thought about it, and then give him the next one and the same thing. Then he can tell me what about that one. Now these do feel a lot stiffer, but once they're used and washed, a couple of times or whatever, once you run these through the washing machine, and they soften up. They soften up just as that does. Seriously. I actually wear on my stomach a chubby pad made of this right here. I went ahead and grabbed a few of these to show you guys. Now, I'm not exactly sure what cotton this is made with, because one of you guys made these. One of my subscribers made these and sent them to me. So you might even notice or recognize your yarn that you used. But one day I did come up with this chubby pad pattern, and I wear one of these on my around my tube every day. They're cotton and they're very absorbent, and I'll just show you how that works. Like, my tube is coming out of my stomach. That's my stomach area, my abdomen, and I have a peg tube that comes out. These just go on like this. It overlaps. It's hard to show like that, but it does overlap. It does overlap like this. And then I have a bumper that's on this tube, and I slide that bumper down against this. And I do have a 4x4 split gauze under this, just to protect my skin from everything, because my skin's very sensitive there. And so this is very absorbent. Some days I might have to change this out like 4 times. The 4x4 split gauze and this, I might change those out about 4 times some days. Just because the leaking will be so severe. And my shirt will even start getting wet if I don't change those, quickly. So anyway, so I do know that the first ones that I made were made with either peaches and cream, sugar and cream, or Crafter Secret, but probably peaches and cream or sugar cream, whatever. So I made the first ones out of that, and after they're washed, you can't tell any difference, honestly. And these that I have right here, I can't tell what kind of yarn that's made of. They're all soft. I wear them every day. They get thrown in the washing machine, or they get thrown in the bathroom laundry basket, not basket, but hamper. And then they get washed, and they come clean. And then they get put in a drawer in the bathroom with my feeding tube supplies that's in there. And then I put them on. but I can't tell what cotton it is. Once they've been washed, you know, they're pretty soft. Okay, just saying that to say that that brand does soften up very easily. But yeah, I'm thinking of giving Big Daddy one of each of these and then letting him tell me his thoughts. Now, I did pick this up because my bathroom is yellow and gray, and I have had this yarn before. And so I have in my bathroom right now, I actually have dish towels, not dish towels, but hand towels that was made with this yarn, just some gray, and then just some that's yellow, like mostly gray, but with some yellow. And then I have some that's like all yellow. I have some made with this. So I have some hand towels that I've made with cotton yarn in my bathroom now. So I went ahead and picked this one up because I could make some washcloths, and that would be cool. And then I picked up this one. It has some purple in it, and I was thinking about it going with this, but I don't know, like, I don't want to wash these and then put them for sale. I want to make them, and you know, the people who buy them can wash them themselves. But that might have a totally different texture once it's made up. I don't know, it may not be that difference. But I don't know, I was thinking that could go with this, but not really. I mean, it's not what I had in mind. I wanted a pretty spa set of this, like with some variegated purple, like light purple, white, and dark purple. And that really don't go with what I had in my mind, but they didn't sell what I had in my mind. You ever do that? Like you have your mind set on something, and that's what you know, you can't do it because that's what you had your mind set on. But anyway, this would make a fun washcloth. And they did have a lot of rainbow colors that would make, you know, some fun colors washcloths, because, I mean, if you can't have fun in the bathtub, where can you have fun? No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying, that's one thing, you know, play with color, have some fun. And then this one just, I looked at this one I don't know how many times and decided to just go back to it in the end. I was like, that skein would not quit calling my name, so I just grabbed it and took off running. But I do like that, the colors in there, so that might make a pretty washcloth too. So in my booth I may end up making I don't know if I'm gonna do singles. I had in my mind that I would do a trio set, or I might just make a bunch of singles and say they're, I don't know what, a piece, and then, you know, the more you buy, the more discounts you get. But they have to be tagged like that. You can't just put a sign up, because the cashier, first off, won't know what booth they came from. She has to have a tag, because she's got to put a tag into the computer, and she has to have a tag. So I don't know how I'm going to tag that just yet. I still got to think of that. But anyway, so I don't know if it would be best to sell these as just singles or sell them as a trio set like I had in my mind. Maybe singles, because some people might want, you know, a bunch of washcloths. I did have somebody to buy several. I actually have them labeled as dish rags, and someone did buy, and they're square. They're square. I crocheted them. But I was just thinking, if I did it on the knitting machine, I could make a lot of these and faster in time, and just easier on me to make a bunch to get them out, because I need to get some. Somebody did buy a bunch of dish rags that are square out of my booth, and I don't remember what those were. Maybe they were $5. I don't know. I think they were $5 each. I'll have to go back and look. But anyway, that's what I got at Walmart. I mean, not Walmart. Didn't even go to Walmart. Didn't even get my Walmart order that I said I was about to order yesterday. And by the time I was doing it, I realized the time slots were gone. And so I'm going to order it here tonight, so they'll be ready in the morning. That's what I'm doing. Alright guys, so anyway, I'm happy that I got the beginner bee yarn. I really love this yarn. Like I said, these are great for people with beginning yarn to be able to see stitches and just learning to crochet, and it kind of defines the stitches so you can understand like where to stick your hook. Because if you start out crocheting with a skinnier yarn, sometimes it's just hard for that person to understand like where do I put my hook, and I think this would just be handy for people like that. But of course, I know how to crochet and I know where to put my yarn. But for me, I'm having so much trouble holding yarn and the tension and all that kind of stuff that this yarn works so well for me. And it doesn't split. So it's also good if you have hand issues. And I like that. I like that, not, having to fight with the yarn. Then I just have to fight with, did I make a mistake somewhere and redo it? But I'm not having to do each stitch 3 and 4 times because the yarn is splitting on me. So I can see where this yarn might be helpful to several different types of people, not just beginners. Anyway, that's my little spiel and my little yarn haul. I hope you all enjoyed walking around Hobby Lobby there for a little bit, just checking it out and seeing what they had. And I will see you all again very, very soon, like sooner than you expect. Bye, friends. Have a blessed day. Remember, it is a beautiful day to crochet.